popularized by its viral dance videos
I got a big old glass of milk, milk.
and wild storytellers.
It is so many red flags that, you would have thought I was colorblind.
TikTok might be living on borrowed time. New bipartisan legislation introduced by House committee leaders would force the app to divest from its parent company, Chinese-owned ByteDance, or be banned in the U.S.
If an entity other than a CCP-controlled entity owns TikTok, Americans can still share whatever content they like, no matter how bad the dance moves may be.
Lawmakers have tried and failed to pass similar bills previously. ByteDance has long faced national security concerns that it would share U.S. users' data with the Chinese government. TikTok has denied those claims. In a statement, it said this bill is an outright ban, adding that it will trample First Amendment rights.
If there is a separation, the app can remain in the United States. Through this bill, we want to ensure divestment, not censorship.
Congress is at it again, and TikTok seems to be that bone that they just can't let go of.
This is not a joke. They are going to try to ban TikTok.
The app boasts more than 170 million U.S. users, ranging from local business owners and even political campaigns.
Trump or Biden?
Are you kidding? Biden.
Banning the app could take away their platform and, for some, a source of income.
It's really become central to the social media landscape. And so if you lose TikTok, then, you lose access to a lot of creators.
The bill, which still has several hurdles to surmount before it becomes law, will face its first committee vote on Thursday.
Jolene Kent, CBS News, Washington.
Well, here for a deeper dive into the issues is senior editor at CNET, Lisa Edichico, and we're going to talk to her because this is obviously a really big deal. Lisa, welcome. Let's first go over some of the reaction to this controversial bill, really understanding that TikTok is becoming kind of the epicenter when it comes to social media. Could there be a path forward for the app?
Yeah, I think it really depends on what ByteDance does. In the past, the company has made it clear that it doesn't want to sell TikTok, of course. But if it doesn't, it risks missing out on one of the largest markets in the world for both smartphone usage and internet usage. So that is a big deal. But it's hard to say how things will pan out for TikTok. Bloomberg has previously reported that selling the app would be a last resort, and it plans to exhaust its legal options before that happens. But it's hard to say who would even buy TikTok at this point. Previously, there was a deal between Oracle and Walmart that fell apart and didn't end up happening. But even TikTok's biggest competitors like Alphabet and Meta, it would be hard to push a deal like that through, even if they were interested, because of all the antitrust scrutiny that has come up with big tech companies in the US over the past few years. So it's hard to say if ByteDance doesn't sell TikTok in the next few months, it might just have to kind of reorient its strategy around being maybe less focused on the US market.
And that's a big financial picture as far as the business size. But what about, TikTok's future when it comes to affecting the smaller business, those creators and people on TikTok moving forward?
Yeah, a lot of creators, entertainers, influencers, and businesses have built a really big following on TikTok. It's become their source of livelihood. So they would likely have to grapple with shifting their audiences to different platforms, maybe YouTube, Instagram. Those are some of TikTok's biggest competitors here. And the same goes for businesses as well. A lot of businesses have adopted a strategy around TikTok because there has been data that shows that consumers are starting to use TikTok as a search engine. They're using it for shopping, especially the younger demographics. So it would definitely create some changes in strategy for sure for businesses and influencers.
Yeah, lots to think about. And now we go on to the next step on if it goes through the Senate. We appreciate your insight, Lisa. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Our other top story here at noon, the future of TikTok is in jeopardy. The House just passed a bill that could ban the popular app, impacting the 170 million Americans. Skylar Henry is following the very latest developments out of Washington.
The rules are suspended. The bill is passed.
The House of Representatives voted Wednesday to require TikTok to separate from its China-based owner ByteDance or be banned from U.S. app stores in 6 months.
TikTok needs to decide whether they value their users or their ties to the Chinese Communist Party more.
Supporters of the bipartisan bill cited national security concerns, arguing the Chinese government could force ByteDance to hand over the data of its 170 million American users, something TikTok has long denied.
This is a life-changing app.
Ahead of the vote, the company mobilized TikTok influencers and others to fight the bill.
So many people, not only 5 million small businesses rely on it, but 170 million people rely on this app for more than just their livelihood. They rely on this app for their mental health.
One key hurdle could be former President Trump, who once threatened to ban TikTok but opposes this bill, saying it would shift too much influence to Facebook. President Biden has said he would sign the legislation if it reaches his desk.
That bill now heads to the Senate, where it's unclear whether it will pass. The future of TikTok is in jeopardy, and that could affect the 170 million Americans who use the app. House lawmakers overwhelmingly passed a bill that would ban the social media platform, unless there is an ownership change. This comes amid concerns that TikTok's parent company, the Chinese-owned ByteDance, could pose a potential national security threat.
Americans need to ask themselves whether they want to give the Chinese government the ability to control access to their data.
TikTok influencers protested outside the White House, urging the president not to sign the bill.
Our representatives tell us all we know how to do is dance. If you want us, we're advocates for educators, we inspire, but if you want us to dance, we'll dance.
It is 90+% of my family's income.
A very divided House came together behind this bill. Next, it goes to the Senate, where its fate is unclear. President Joe Biden, though, has said he would sign it if it gets to his desk. Now, this bill is getting support from both Democrats and Republicans. So we asked a Bay Area expert on media studies, what's the motivation behind this move for them?
Now, the reason I think TikTok has been the focus of a lot of this legislation is twofold. One, the Republican Party has been pretty hawkish on China, so I think that's why they're focusing on a Chinese company in TikTok. And then I think the Democrats, they typically have not wanted to regulate or come down hard on big tech, but recently they've really been challenged by TikTok, particularly in the Israeli-Gaza conflict. A lot of young people are getting information about that conflict from TikTok. A lot of the information runs counter to what the Democrat Party is trying to do with that conflict. And so I think they see TikTok as also a challenge to their legislative agenda.
We will continue to follow developments on the future of TikTok. Stay with us on air and on our website, kpix.com, and of course, streaming on the free CBS News app.
On this vote, the yeas are 352, the nays are 65. One present, 2/3 being in the affirmative. The rules are suspended, the bill is passed, and without the objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table. Okay.